I was asked a long time ago to do more videos on knapping little cobbles, so I'm going to try to do this one here. This is a heat treat of Tuscaloosa gravel. Okay, so I assume that you can get this stuff in Mississippi and surrounding areas. It's like citronelle gravel, right? Similar stuff. I also have a piece of, or I think is Cobden chert, but I don't know. I just had these in the same little box as exotic material. So I'm just gonna make bifaces because it takes too long to do a refined one. Although some of you might not like it, I'm just gonna try to make a little biface. Most of the new guys have trouble bifacing this stuff, so that's what I'm gonna do. But it's heat treated to 600 degrees. Now, some of you are gonna have trouble heat treating to 600 degrees, me included. But if you know of somebody who has a pottery kiln, which they are fairly common, you can heat treat this in a pottery kiln. You can borrow it or rent it. So you do it. I'll pay you $25 if I can heat a batch of rocks in your kiln. Really? Yeah. Okay. So that's what I would recommend. If you don't have you can try to 450 or 500 degrees as well. Nothing says you can't go a little bit lower. Sometimes lower heat is just fine. But yeah, just those two little strikes tells me that that's sweet material. Very nice. I ordered some more aluminum, but I won't be able to get to it until I go back to Vermont. Why did I order more aluminum? So I can experiment with different sizes of the tools, and also so I can make sure this is 6061. Okay, because the one I bought that says it's 6061, if it's not like this, then I goofed up again. I gotta double check. I've been known to mess up. I hit that before, didn't do anything. Gosh, let's see. Yeah, zigzagging these things, if it's small like this, you don't want to mess it up. Can't just casually zigzag around it. Got to be very, very careful. Why am I using the aluminum mallet? Or the aluminum for a mallet? Because I don't have to guess that the flake's going to come off. It will come off if nothing is absorbing any shock. Alright, if it's just metal on metal, transfers all the energy directly. And yes, you can get nice flakes with metal on metal indirect percussion. And people still ask me where to get a steel rod. And lo and behold, there's Lowe's employees that don't know what you're talking about when you go in there and say, I need a 3/8" steel rod. They don't have a clue. Some of them. Although I've never encountered it that badly, I know that it does happen. I've gone in for simple things and they don't have a clue. You're looking for a specialty item. I don't really know, dude. Let's look it up. They look it up on the internet. They go to the hardware store website. Look it up. Oh yeah, it's on aisle 14. Thank you. Of course, you could have done it yourself. You don't need to ask the people. Just go onto the hardware store website. Type in what you want. Okay, sometimes you gotta download the app. If your phone is full, delete Twitter or something. Or TikTok. Delete that stuff. So you have room for the stuff that supports your napping, which is much more important. Napping will help reveal the secrets of mankind. Right? Who wants me to talk some smack on the video? Raise your hand. Oh, but it's true that flint napping can help reveal the secrets of mankind. But so does the fact that some people at the hardware store are clueless. That reveals a secret of mankind. Alright? Yeah. You kind of lose faith in mankind. Why you say mankind, man? It's gender wrong. I could start talking smack about gender. But the algorithm will get angry. I don't want to anger the algorithm. Someday it will be my boss, if it's not already. Do I prefer a machine boss to a human boss? Well, in principle, yes. Why? Because a machine will not be one of those unmentionables. So you want to marry a machine too? Marry a machine. That way you don't get mind games. Yeah. The problem with dependency on machines is that you start to think of all these weird things to do with them. Like enslave them or marry them. I don't like machines that much. Or hate them that much. But it's coming. Oh yes. It's coming. If it's not already here, I'm usually the last one to know. If I know it, that means everybody else knew it first and they're just holding out on me. That's my story. Sticking to it. I was reading some responses to an audiobook this morning because I listen to audiobooks all the time. Some of the best audiobooks are actually on YouTube. They upload them for free illegally, I think. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for uploading, whoever it is that's been uploading audiobooks on YouTube. Saves me some money. I was looking at comments this morning, and lo and behold, they were mocking the Simpletons. What is mocking the Simpletons? Well, it's this hobby some people have of getting on the internet and saying stuff like, I'm so amused by these people who are making things so simple and they think they're right. I'm amused by that. It speaks volumes of their intelligence. Or lack thereof. It speaks to their blah blah blah. Yeah, that sort of thing. Making fun of the people who simplify things down to the bare bones or oversimplify. It's easy to make fun of the simpletons. I don't know if that's the actual definition of simpleton, but you know what I mean. Yes, it is true. You can oversimplify and get it wrong. But you can also overcomplicate and get it wrong. Now, it's funny that there's a term for simpleton, right? But what is the opposite of simpleton? I was going to look up opposites for simpleton, you know? Really, on the internet. What is the antonym for simpleton? But I got distracted. And I had to go to the post office. I had to do some other stuff. I sent off some good stuff, man. He's gonna like it. I like going to the post office, making people happy. You get all giggly. Hey, he's gonna like this. Anyway, I got distracted. I couldn't find the antonym for simpleton, so I was thinking about that on the way back home. Because I don't look up stuff while I'm driving. So I'm sitting there going, Well, it's the opposite of making things simple is making things more complicated. So how can I make the word, a new word? So I came up with, let's see, complicate. Complicaton. There's simpletons and there's complicatons. If you make things more complicated, you're a complicaton. Simpletons and complicatons. Now, don't get me started. Well, maybe you should get me started talking smack about complicatons. They complicate things. They think they're smart by saying, oh, it's more complicated than that. Yes, it is. Yeah. Much more complicated, you simpleton. Oh, yes. And they think that, I don't know what they're thinking, actually. I mean, I would be embarrassed to think that just because I can complicate things, I'm smarter. Or I can see the complications and recognize that you are making it too simple. And that gives me the basis to mock you. And that it's not the kind of, you know, when they make fun of the simpletons, it's not fun or funny or true humor. It's mocking humor. If the humor that you're seeing is rooted in mocking, chances are you're dealing with an unmentionable. They don't have real humor. It's all mocking humor. It's like, oh, that's hilarious. Hilarious. Excuse me while I laugh myself into oblivion. What are they doing? They're not really laughing at something funny. They are reveling in the idea of mocking something or someone. They get all giggly. Anyway, I was looking through the comments and I saw these guys. And various thoughts were running around in my head. Looking at Elon Musk tweets also. And I had a thought. Why is the richest guy wanting to buy social media platform as highly infested with the complicatons as Twitter? And I think I found a little clue, because right now he's trying to crowdsource information on how to spot the bot. He's trying to spot the bot, or spot fake accounts without actually breaching security. Just look at the followers and blah blah blah. So the moral of the story with that is crowdsourcing. The power of the internet is huge, right? But one of the biggest, hugest, greatest, magnificentest abilities of the internet is to crowdsource. Now, of course, the complicitons or the unmentionables have already figured this out because they're crowdsourcing for political purposes. They're able to tap into the power of the irrational actor, the highly engaged, insane activist, to further their agenda. They've already figured out how to crowdsource that stuff. The political stupidity. They can crowdsource it, come up with, or they can find the geniuses in the spinning of false realities, and they crowdsource for that. But there's so much more you can crowdsource. So much more potential there. Actual, real, beneficial to mankind potential. You just got to be smart enough to know how to do it. And guess who are the smart ones that know how to do it? Not the people who are failures, but the people who are successes. Right? Yeah. What do I know about failures and successes? I have a lot of both. I was actually reading a book the other day, just kind of reading it about cognitive therapy, cognitive therapy, how to train your brain to think in different ways so that you can avoid pitfalls. Anyway, if you're on social media with an infestation of the complicitons, you're doing the opposite of cognitive therapy, I guarantee. That's good enough as a biface, right? I mean, now I'll just stash it because what I got to do now is just thin it down. But I'm not going to, because a lot of you will hate that I'm not going to finish it. But I don't care, because I'm going to complicate your life. Give you anxiety. Yeah, no one wants to see that. Thin down. They want to see the clunky stuff made usable. Ooh, that's sweet. Oh, yes, it is. It is. So yeah, I'm leaving you hanging with all that talking smack about the internet. I'm gonna leave you hanging right there. I'm not gonna finish my thoughts on that, because I didn't really know where I was going with that. I was just kind of randomly remembering my thoughts this morning. I don't think about flint napping when I get up, other than the fact that I've got some projects that I'm working on. Dang it, I need to finish that one. I got it on my list for months. Dang it. One of the signs of early onset dementia is your inability to organize. Right? Oh man, I struggled with that for many, many years. I'm getting better, which means there's some healing going on. I fried my brain on something. I have a clue. I think I know what it is that I fried my brain on. Drugs, man. You've been doing drugs. You know it. Yeah, actually, yes. Sugar is a drug. I was definitely addicted to sugar. But anyway, learning how to organize. Learning how to organize. That is a very, very vital skill. You know, it can make you smart, because you organize your reading, you organize your exercise schedule, you organize your time wisely, it can seriously change your life. Part of it is eliminating contact with people who mess up your organization, your attempts at being organized. Regular sleep schedules are the big one. Everybody knows, well, not everybody, but the unmentionables know that if they mess with your sleep, you become weak and vulnerable. Many of us will just give in to pressure. If we're tired, we're not going to resist. Yeah, okay, fine, we'll just do it your way. I'm too tired to argue. And the unmentionable is going, yeah, I know. No, you're too tired to argue. Why do you think I make you tired? Why do you think I do that to you? Why do you think I give you this short hoe? What? What did you just say? Yeah, it's not what you think. I don't know if you heard of this story. I don't know if it's real or not. But back in the day when there was manual farm labor and there was time to weed or till the soil, they would give the workers these hoes that were short, too short, and they were very straining on the back. In other words, equipment that wasn't efficient, just to tire the workers out so they couldn't do anything else after they went home. Too tired to organize themselves into a resistance. Or they would drown their sorrows in some other, or in something like a vice, alcohol or whatever, when they got home because they were so miserably tired. That sort of thing, right? Well, the unmentionables know about how to do this. They knew it instinctively, how to wear you down, wear you out. Why do I say this? Well, you wanted me to talk some smack about them. I don't even know what talking smack means. It just sounds funny. But beware. Be aware and beware. If I had known this, that there are certain people that naturally mess with you to get their way, I would have been a lot better off, I think. Although there are circumstances where you have to deal with people like that. You just have to. They infest everything. And yes, it's an infestation because they degrade it. They degrade whatever they infest. They have what I call a lack of intellectual hygiene. They leave their droppings and their what's a good word? Yeah, droppings and nasty, smelly stuff everywhere. Everywhere they exist, they leave their droppings everywhere, and it eventually degrades, corrodes, and generally makes the environment unsanitary. Nowhere can we see that psychological lack of hygiene than on the internet. Many people don't have intellectual hygiene. Another word for that is, let's see, there's another word for it. Intellectual integrity or something like that. Anyway, I prefer to look at it as a hygiene issue. Okay? Hygiene. And I'm not talking about cleaning up your language. I'm talking about getting a firm grip and acceptance of reality. Study how logic works. Know the fallacies, but know them for the right reason. The unmentionables know all the fallacies because they come up with them. That's their forte. They know them. Inside out, upside down and can invent them at will. That's not the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Know them so you can recognize them. The fallacies. If you're onto something if you think you have a fallacy, right? You think you know a fallacy, and then you spot one on the internet, someone using the fallacy, and you call them out. You know, this is illogical because of blah, blah, blah. It's called a something fallacy. If the person you're talking to has a fit, like, no, blah, blah, you're onto something. You're onto the truth. Because we're talking about logic. As long as you got it right, that yes, you have identified the fallacy correctly, and yes, you understand the fallacy, when you call someone out, you're not wrong, and they will have a fit. Those are the ones that leave their droppings everywhere and pollute the environment. They don't clean up after themselves. They don't come back and say sorry later, or, you know, I found out that you're right, and they come back and clean up their droppings. They don't do that. They just leave the droppings everywhere. They even write elaborate papers, books, and blogs full of that stuff, and just leave it sitting there even when they know that they've been corrected. They won't clean it up. So there's my rant on that one. Intellectual hygiene. It infests archaeology as well. Oh yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. If you missed it, I'm not going to repeat it. I'm not gonna. Nope. Because you missed it, not paying attention. It's not my fault. I was also thinking this morning, I need to learn some Spanish. I need to learn Spanish. I used to speak Spanish until I was about 5 years old. I was fluent in Spanish because my mom speaks Spanish. She's from Mexico. Yes, indeed. One of these Spaniards from Mexico. You don't look Mexican. I know I don't. I know I don't. Neither does she. Anyway, need to learn Spanish. Another symptom of the early onset dementia was I could not for the life of me keep anything in long-term memory, or, you know, retrieve it subconsciously like a language. You know, I'd study words in Spanish. Yeah, I could repeat it for a day or two. Give it 3 days and I had forgotten already. It didn't matter how many times I repeated to myself. I could not remember that word. No, could not remember. No long-term memory for things like language. I had long-term memory for other things. Visual, you know, a shape of an arrowhead, that one's called a Marshall. That one's called a Levana point. That one is called a Kirk. I can remember that because I had the visual. I'm very visually oriented. But it's with words, some words you can't really visualize. What's the picture of an idea? What's the picture of such and such? What's the picture of I did not do it? I did not do it. What's the picture of that? Please clarify. What is the picture for clarify? See, those kind of words, they don't have pictures associated with them. I'd forget them. Yeah. So yes, I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but it's it's weird because I'll speak it and they say, oh, you know how to speak Spanish. Well, I used to. I can kind of speak it, but I don't know very many words and I'm embarrassed. I can understand some of it. But yeah, another thing I was thinking about. Alright, I'm out of time. So yeah, a couple of bifaces for you. I think that's Cobden chert. I think it might be raw. It's a lot like, it is a lot like hornstone, which Cobden might be a type of hornstone. And this heat treated is not as good as this, but it's beautiful color. I like it. Yes, I do. I like it a lot. Anyway, there you go. See you next video.